human consciousness could be evolved.
It has all the 7 dimensions established at their highest peak.
This energy body of a perfect teacher who can transform human consciousness.
People who witness these things, their lives are never the same again.
It is like a living person sitting there who has his energies at his peak.
They called him Maitreya. Maitreya means a friend, a true friend to the humanity, to come and change humanity, the world teacher. Many thousand years ago, there was a yogi whose name was Sunira. We believe Sunira was just the next generation after Saptarishis. He lived and worked in the mountains which are presently in Nepal. And she took on an impossible project.
Sunira saw that human consciousness could be evolved if you produce a perfect human being who could render this to all sorts of people. In a way, he comes from the tradition of Shiva. Somewhere it's his dream to build another being like that. He wants to build a living Shiva once again, a perfect teacher for the world, who is completely multidimensional, not this kind of teaching or that kind of teaching. As Shiva explored the whole human consciousness and human body in every possible way, he wants that kind of a living being. So he started building the energy body for that kind. And then he believed that he could build a physical body on top of that and let him loose in the world with a lifespan of a few hundred or thousand years, so that he will transform the whole world by the time his time is done. So he started working on this project. And of course he died unfulfilled. So here and there, down these 40,000 years, many ambitious yogis picked up the same project that Sunira had left and tried to reconstruct this energy body of a perfect teacher who can transform human consciousness.
Yogi Sunira, he worked through his lifetime, and towards the end of his life, when this dream of creating a perfect being remained unfulfilled, Yogi Sunira made a prophecy that long time from now, long time from now, this work that I have started will find fulfillment and reverberate, not here, but in the green hills of the south. Our hills are green. We are in the south. So whatever Sunira's prophecy has come true, but not the way he thought it would. So the consecration process itself took 3.5 years, a very intense process. People who witness these things, their lives are never the same again. Things that they had not imagined in their wildest dreams, they witnessed, they still can't believe that it actually happened in their presence. Dhyanalinga is unique because it has all the 7 dimensions established at their highest peak. In a way, if you look at Dhyanalinga, what it means is, it is like a living person sitting there who has his energies at his peak, within the ability to hold the form, and now it's almost like a live person sitting there, the highest kind of being. The idea of creating the lingam is so that everybody has the privilege of being in the intimacy of a guru to do their sadhana. Very few people get this opportunity that they can do their sadhana in the intimacy of a guru. If you do your sadhana without the necessary grace, what can be done in a moment takes many lifetimes. So, Dhyanalinga offers just that possibility that people can do their sadhana with the intimacy of being with a live guru. At the same time, you don't have to, without instructions, without any physical entanglements, one can just be in the presence of a guru.
This is the experience of thousands of people. They come there thinking they want to sit there for 10 minutes. They sit there and they get up, it's 2 hours, they're sitting right there. Because once you're meditative, your sense of time is just gone.
The dream of many enlightened beings, Dhyanalinga was consecrated by Sadhguru after 3 years of an intense process of prana pratishtha, a pure energy process wherein the energies of all 7 chakras are raised to the peak and locked to prevent dissipation over time. A doorway to enlightenment and spiritual liberation, Dhyanalinga offers a spiritual seeker the opportunity to perform spiritual practices in utmost intimacy with a live guru, an opportunity traditionally available only to a select few. Dhyanalinga has been created as a very powerful presence so that the Vijnanamay Kosha or the knowledge body of a person is touched by being in the sphere of Dhyanalinga. In Dhyanalinga, energy has been pushed to the highest point and locked through the intense process of prana pratishtha. So now exploring the various mysticism of Dhyanalinga, let's explore some of the unique manifestations that we find around Dhyanalinga. First of which comes downward flowing snake sculptures in the walls of Dhyanalinga. In the yogic culture, snakes is used as a symbolic representation of higher dimension of energy. This is because the movement of Kundalini is very similar to how a snake moves or crawls when it is provoked. This is why in many energy spaces you must have seen the depiction of snakes. Generally, you will see snakes as moving upward because you are seeking the divine. But in Dhyanalinga, we will see the cascading snakes coming downward because it is the shower of the divinity. It is not in the search of divinity. This is the shaft of grace, that is, grace is spilling down. It is to indicate this showering of grace upon us, that all of them has depicted through these cascades of snakes. Secondly, if you have visited Dhyanalinga or if you have seen the Dhyanalinga in any of the Sadhguru's video, you might have seen that the steps leading to Dhyanalinga is high. Many of us wonder why is it so. So, moving forward to the answer, we all know that Dhyanalinga is not a place of worship. It is a place for meditation. So for all those who are coming to Dhyanalinga, there are some simple procedures. The steps are designed such that when someone presses the soles of their feet on the step, it activates the system in a certain way. Another thing is that when you are trying to go to the next step and then when you raise your leg beyond a certain point and press down and push your weight up, your Mooladhara opens up. It gets the necessary stimulation. And so the steps leading to Dhyanalinga are built up high. It is not only with Dhyanalinga. The next time whenever you climb something high, just notice how the whole area around the Mooladhara gets stimulated by pressing down the feet in a particular way. which is very important if one wants to become meditative. Dhyanalinga has the possibility that it can make you meditative without any instructions, but some preparations and receptivity is needed for the body. The whole structure of the Dhyanalinga space is made such that in many ways it prepares the system to become meditative. Now the third thing which we can see is that there is a tamarind tree in front of Dhyanalinga with a black cloth tied in it. If you are an Indian, you might have heard that people say that ghosts live around tamarind tree. This is not false. This is because the level of oxygen around the tamarind tree is extremely low compared to any other vegetation. For disembodied beings, this lack of any life settling there combined with a very low level of oxygen feels like death and dissolution. This is why they tend to move in the direction of these tamarind trees. We have tamarind tree in front of Dhyanalinga because even beings who have not worked for their mukti attain to mukti in a short span because their structure cannot be kept. In that kind of energy, the being just collapses. And talking about the black cloth that is tied on the tamarind tree is that there are people who do a certain type of sadhana for 42 days. This is known as Shivanga sadhana. I have talked about in detail in this video, link of which I have given in the description. If you want to know in detail about Shivanga sadhana, you can visit the link. Now, the people who do Shivanga sadhana, they tie the cloth in their body for the entire 42 days. Now in that cloth, a certain amount of their body in the form of sweat enter into the cloth. And this cloth has certain memory of that person. And also there is a certain process that happens in front of Dhyanalinga where they relieve them from their karmic structure. After this process that is done for 42 days of sadhana, people find immense relief from what they had gathered in the mental and the physical systems over a period of time. And lastly, the most weighted question is that can one access Dhyanalinga from wherever they are? Yes, absolutely yes. Even we have seen Sadhguru talking about it. Dhyanalinga is a living being because it has come with all the 7 chakras. It is just that there is no physical body like you and me. Dhyanalinga is like the energy body of the highest kind of being possible, like a yogi sitting there. Or put in traditional terms like it is Shiva himself sitting over there. The idea is that people should live in the presence of the life Guru forever. To do your sadhana in the intimacy of the Guru is very different from doing your sadhana from yourself. Very few people get this opportunity because it is physically impossible to provide that all the time. But with Dhyanalinga, everyone has this opportunity. Even if you don't know about meditation, if you just sit for a few minutes, you will become meditative without any single instruction because the very making of the Dhyanalinga is in that way. So finally, if in this Mahashivratri, if you are traveling to Isha Yoga Center, do not forget to visit Dhyanalinga and do meditation there. And now closing the video, if you haven't joined for Mahashivratri Sadhana yet, please go join through the link in the description. And also, if you wish to donate some amount as per your convenience for Maha Annadanam, I have given the link in the description. You can pay as per your convenience. And finally, at last, hope you loved the video and found it meaningful. And if yes, do not forget to give it a like, share and subscribe. Up to next, stay safe, healthy, happy and namaskaram.